Hello students, in today's class, we'll discuss about chemical kinetics. This is the third chapter of your class 12 chemistry book. So you have studied about thermodynamics and equilibrium in class 11. So this chemical kinetics along with thermodynamics and equilibrium will determine the speed, feasibility and extent of a chemical reaction. Suppose we'll talk about a chemical reaction where H2 reacts with I2 to produce HI and is a reversible chemical reaction. So in this chemical reaction, if you calculate the delta H and delta S, now these two values, delta H and delta S, will give us delta Z at a given temperature. This will give us delta Z at a given temperature, and delta Z is delta H minus T delta S. So at a particular temperature, knowing the value of delta H and delta S, we can calculate delta Z. And when the delta Z is negative, that is less than 0, we say the reaction is spontaneous. The reaction occurs spontaneously at this particular temperature. And when this delta Z is greater than 0 or positive, we will say the reaction is non-spontaneous at this particular set of conditions. And when it is equal to 0, we will say this reaction is in equilibrium. So thermodynamics will tell us the feasibility of this chemical reaction. Using equilibrium, you can find out to what extent the chemical reaction occurs, and you can find out the ways by which the concentration of product can be increased. We can define the different conditions by which the product concentration can be increased, but we will not know anything about the speed of this chemical reaction. Whether this reaction occurs very slowly, the reaction occurs in a moderate speed, or the reaction is very fast, nothing can be explained by this. So here comes the kinetics. This chemical kinetics is the study of the rates of the chemical reaction. So here rate means the speed of a chemical reaction, the speed at which the chemical reaction occurs, and their mechanism. So this mechanism indicates the elementary steps that are involved in a complex reaction, and using this we can define the rate determining speed, the step of a complex reaction that will determine the overall speed of the reaction, that we will explain on the basis of the mechanism. Then it will describe the conditions by which the rate of the chemical reaction can be altered, like it will define as the conditions of temperature, pressure and catalyst, and the reaction concentration by which the speed of the chemical reaction can be increased or decreased. Let us define different type of reactions. In terms of speed, the reactions can be divided into three types. Very slow reactions like rusting of iron. Not only rusting of iron, but corrosion of any metal in the atmosphere is a slow process. Weathering of rock is a slow process. There are some reactions that occur very fast, like detonation of the explosives. Explosives occur very fast rate. When you talk about acid-base neutralization reactions, these reactions occur at a very high speed. When sodium chloride and AgNO3, silver nitrate, is added, you will get a white precipitate of silver nitrate in no time. So these reactions are very fast. Similarly, when you place a piece of sodium in water, you have seen in class 10 probably, when a piece of sodium is placed in water, it catches fire immediately. The reaction is very spontaneous. It is very fast. Then there are some reactions that occur in a moderate speed, like combination of hydrogen and chlorine in presence of sunlight. So when hydrogen and chlorine combine, it produces hydrogen chloride, which is a moderate reaction. Hydrolysis of ethyl acetate, which is an ester. So ester hydrolysis is a moderate reaction. Similarly, the hydrolysis of sugar in presence of acid is also a moderately fast reaction, or moderately slow also you can say reaction. Then we'll have to define rate of a chemical reaction. This is the first topic as per your class 12 syllabus. So when you say rate, this rate actually means the speed of a chemical reaction. But can speed be defined here as you have defined in physics? In physics, we define speed as the distance traveled per unit time. But in chemistry, can you define the speed of a chemical reaction as the distance traveled by the reactant mixture, any of the reactant inside the container? No, the speed is not expressed like this. We know that in a chemical reaction, when the reactant gets converted to product, with time passes, the reactant concentration increases and the product reactant concentration decreases and the product concentration increases. So rate of a chemical reaction can be expressed as change in concentration of any one of the product or any one of the reactant per unit time, or when gases are involved, it can be defined as change in partial pressure of the gases in unit time. So this rate can be expressed as the increase in concentration of any of the decrease in concentration of any of the reactant, or it can be expressed as increase in concentration of any of the product. Suppose you have a reaction where A plus B, it react to produce C plus D. So where A and B are the reactants and C and B are the product. So here this concentration of A and B, they decreases with time, and concentration of C and D increases with time. So the rate can be expressed as decrease in concentration of the reactants, that is A and B, in terms of A or in terms of B, or it can be expressed in increase in concentration of any one of the product, that is C or D. So this is how rate of a reaction can be expressed. How is it expressed? That we'll discuss in the next point. Then this is a thing we should remember, that rate of the chemical reaction can never be negative. It is always greater than 0. Now let us take this example where R gives product. This reactant forms a product. As time passes, the reactant concentration decreases and the product concentration increases. Suppose when a time is T1, when you have started studying the reaction, the time is T1. At that time, the reactant concentration is suppose R1 and the product concentration suppose was P1. After some time, when the time becomes T2, the reactant concentration suppose become R2 and the product concentration becomes P2. Now, since the reactant concentration decreases with time, here it is R2 is less than R1 and product concentration increases with time, so this P2 will be greater than P1. Now, how to express the rate in terms of the reactant? So in terms of the reactant, disappearance of the reactant, the rate can be expressed as R2 minus R1, because change is always final minus initial. So R2 minus R1 by T2 minus T1. Then why is the negative sign placed here? See, this R2 minus R1, R2 is smaller than R1. So as a whole, this portion will be negative. This portion is negative, but rate of a reaction can never be negative. So rate always has to be positive. So this negative sign is placed here so that the rate becomes positive. To make the rate positive, the negative sign is placed here. And this negative sign is defined as rate of disappearance of the reactant. Similarly, the rate can be expressed as rate of appearance of the product, which is P2 minus P1 by T2 minus T1, which is delta P by delta T. Now this delta P, delta T, this is a finite change. This is a like the change in concentration and change in time is a finite change. So in this type of cases, we'll define the rate as the average rate of the reaction. And we have something called instantaneous rate also, which gives the rate of the reaction at a particular instant of time, where the time is infinitesimally small. Then it's called an instantaneous rate. That will define when we talk about this graphical representation. Now let us talk about the unit of this rate. So how to express the unit of the rate? See, we know that rate is change in concentration per unit time. So when it's reactant, it will be negative, and when it's product, it will be positive. Both the cases, rate has to be equal. Now this concentration, what's the unit? Concentration will be mole per liter, molar concentration, and time is second. So this rate as a unit, mole per liter per second. And when gases are involved, we say rate is expressed in terms of change in concentration, change in partial pressure, not the concentration. So we can write the unit of rate as unit of pressure per second, like bar per second, Pascal per second, ATM, atmosphere per second, etc. So unit of pressure per second. So next, let us explain graphically the average and instantaneous rate of a chemical reaction. Suppose we'll talk about the decrease in concentration of any of the reactant with time. Now, when the time is 0, the concentration of reactant was maximum. This is called R0, reactant concentration when the time is 0. Now, as time passes, it decreases, but it will not go to 0 because no reaction goes to 100% completion. When the time is T1, let the concentration was C1. When the time is T1, let the concentration be C1. And when the time is T2, let the concentration be C2. Now, between this time interval, T2, T1 and T2, the rate average can be expressed as minus dr by dt. Dr is change in concentration of reactant, which is C2 minus C1. So C2 minus C1 by T2 minus T1. This is how the average rate at a particular time interval can be calculated. Now, if you want to know the speed at a particular time t, that is instantaneous speed at that particular time, you have to draw a tangent here, and from the tangent we can get the speed at that particular time, which is minus dr by dt, where this dr and dt are infinitesimally small changes, which is same as the slope of the plot. So slope at any point of time, slope at any point in the curve, suppose here, here, or here, when you draw a slope, that gives the instantaneous speed of the reaction. Now, from this, can you tell me, as the time passes, the speed of the reaction is increasing or decreasing? The slope is becoming less or slope is becoming more? So yes, you are thinking it correctly. As the time passes, the slope is becoming smaller and smaller. That means the rate of the chemical reaction is decreasing with time. Similarly, we can graphically represent the rate in terms of concentration of product. So here, when the time is 0, the product concentration was 0. As time passes, the concentration of product increases. Now, initially at time T1, let the concentration of product was C1. At time T2, let the product concentration C2. Then for this particular time interval, the average rate can be written as delta P by delta T. Here a negative sign is not required because product concentration increases with time. So it is positive. C2 minus C1, T2 minus T1. So this is how the rate can be explained. Similarly, here also, at any moment of time, here, here, or here, at any point of time, we can find the instantaneous rate from the slope at that particular point. Slope at any particular point will tell us the speed of the chemical reaction at that particular time. So let us now discuss the expression of rate of a chemical reaction. Suppose we'll think about the reaction where the stoichiometric coefficients of the reactants and products are identical. Like we have a reaction where A gives B. So here we have 1 mole and here also we have 1 mole. So in this type of cases, the rate of disappearance of A, the rate of decrease in A, and rate of formation of B is equal. So what is rate of disappearance of A? Rate of disappearance of A can be written as minus delta concentration of A by delta T. And rate of appearance of B can be written as delta B by delta T. And these two are both identical. So rate of disappearance of A and rate of appearance of B is identical. So as a result, rate can be expressed as rate of disappearance of A and rate of appearance of B. So this is when the coefficients are identical. But we may have cases where the coefficients are not equal, not the same. So in this type of cases, rate of appearance of and rate of disappearance are not identical. Disappearance of the reactant and disappearance of the appearance of the product are not equal. Suppose we have this reaction, twice A gives B. In this case, when 2 mole of A reacts, 1 mole of B is formed. That means rate of disappearance of A is 2 times the appearance of B. So in this type of cases, to make them equal, the rate is expressed like this: half of delta A by delta T will be equal to delta B by delta T. Because in this case, 2 times the disappearance of A is equal to appearance of B. To make them equal, this speed, the rate of disappearance of A is divided by half so that they become equal. So actually say this comes from here. This is minus d of A by dt. This is rate of disappearance of A will be equal to 2 times the rate of appearance of B. So to make them equal, if you bring this 2 here, it becomes half of dA by dt. But rate is expressed in one of the reactant or one of the product only. So we are keeping the coefficient together only. So for this reaction, okay, when the reaction is in gaseous, the rate can be expressed as change in partial pressure of the reactant and the product. Suppose this is a reaction that occurs in gas phase. So in this case, the rate of the reaction can be expressed as minus 1/3, because the coefficient is 3 here, 1/3 d of partial pressure of H2 by dt, which will be equal to minus d of partial pressure of N2 by dt, will be equal to half d of partial pressure of NH3 by dt. So these are the ways by which the rate can be expressed when the species are present in the gaseous state. Now for this reaction, how can the rate be expressed? You try, I'm also writing. So for this reaction, rate will be equal to minus 1/5 d of concentration of Br minus by dt will be equal to d of BrO3 minus by dt will be equal to 1/6, minus will be here, 1/6 d of concentration of H plus by dt. So these are the reactants. In terms of product will be positive, 1/3 d of Br2 by dt will be equal to 1/3 d of concentration of H2 by. So for the reactants, the negative signs are there, and the products, the negative signs are not there. So this is how the rate of a chemical reaction can be expressed. So this is the answer which is already given you. Then we'll discuss two questions which are given in the textbook. The first question is, for the reaction R gives P, the concentration of the reactant changes from 0.03 molar to 0.02 molar in 25 minutes. Calculate the average rate of the reaction using the unit of both minutes and seconds, time in minutes and time in seconds. So the reaction is R gives P. R gives P. So how to express the rate? So they have given the concentration of reactant. So let minus R2 minus R1 by T2 minus T1, or you can say minus delta R by delta T. So minus, what is delta R here? Initially it was 0.3 molar and finally it become 0.2. So it is 0.2 minus 0.3 by what's the time? 25 minutes, which is minus 0.1 by 25, which is equal to 4 into 10 to the minus 4. Unit will be mole per liter. Time is given in minute, so mole per liter per minute. Now when you convert it to mole per liter per second, it will become 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 5 mole per liter per second. Now how to convert this mole per liter per minute to mole per liter per second? You just have to divide it by 60. So 1 minute is 60 seconds, so divide it by 60, we'll get the answer. So this is one of the in-text question. Next we'll go to next in-text question, which is twice A gives product. The rate of the reactant A decreases from 0.5 to 0.4 in 10 minutes. Calculate the rate during the interval. So here the reaction is twice A gives product. So how will the rate be written? Rate will be equal to minus half of delta A, change in concentration of A by delta T. So minus half. What is delta A? Change in concentration of A, 0.4 from 0.5. Time will be 10 minutes. Time will be 10 minutes. So minus half into this is minus 0.1 by 10. So ultimately it will become 5 into 10 to the power minus 3 mole per liter per minute. Mole per liter per minute. So this is how we should try the questions. So thank you, students. We'll stop here for today. Next class, we'll discuss about the factors that affects the rate of a chemical reaction. If you think this classes will help you, then please like and share my channel. So thank you, students. Have a nice day.